Okay, welcome to Beyond the Network, episode 2. I'm Madison,
I'm Bill.
and we're your hosts for today. This is going to be the IT podcast where we talk all things tech, teamwork, and keeping your business running smooth behind the scenes.
Sweet.
Okay, so this week, the topic is going to be cybersecurity awareness.
Dun dun dun.
So obviously that's a really big topic. When we hear cybersecurity, we're like, okay, what are we talking about? Because that's a huge buzzword for us, and there's so many things that fall like beneath that. Okay, so for our first question, what common cybersecurity threats should businesses watch out for in 2025?
This is changing drastically from 5 years ago. So it's always going to be from the outside in, right? So your email, and then websites. There's a lot of dirty websites too. So um, you have to be aware of what's coming in through your email most of the time, because people are, in their own element in their email. They don't share information a lot of times. So if they do something, sometimes they do it without even knowing it and stuff like that. They're getting good though. They've always been good, but they're keeping up with the changes and using AI and everything. So
Yeah, I think it's funny because it's like we put all these tools on the email. We put all these tools to try to, protect people from these phishing scams and these malware threats. But I think as we talk about cybersecurity more, people are like, they're figuring out that, oh, people are aware of this. You can't just use something that obviously looks like a scam. Like, people aren't going to fall for that anymore. So it's like they're kind of going backwards and making it more simple. They're like, okay, let's just send an email with basic text that can't be detected, and we'll just tell them like that their direct deposit info, like if you can find out someone's HR contact, you can just pretend to be an employee, find out, tell them your direct deposit information has changed, and then it's up to that person to be able to detect, hey, this isn't usually something somebody would send over email. Let me take a step back in verifying this before just updating their pay information.
I want you to also think that it's not just one email anymore. They're setting you up with multiple emails. And then if you give them information, you're not giving them specific information, but you're giving them more ammo to get that information. So
Hmm.
if they know your bank, they make it more personal and things like that.
Definitely. Yeah. Like, just because you see some piece of information in the email that seems personal to you doesn't mean that person actually knows you. There's so much information that can be found on the internet these days. We really have to move with caution when we're in our email. That's for
If
sure.
if you're sharing it to your peers or your clients or anything like that and they get hacked, they already know more about you than you think they do, right?
Hmm.
So it's all that communication. It's it's getting advanced
Hmm.
every day.
What are some easy wins that companies can implement today to improve their cybersecurity posture?
I think I think multi-factor is a must now. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's your Facebook account or your bank account. It's all the same. If your mail has to have two-factor on it. If it doesn't, you're asking for it. If they can get into your mailbox, they can basically become you,
Hmm.
and then they're getting the information that you could get from your trust with those people.
Hmm.
So
Especially if you're using like your person, like if you're using an email to set up two factor for your other accounts, that email better have the most security on it, like than you can even imagine. I don't personally use email for two factor. I like to use an authenticator app just because I think, it's less chances of it getting intercepted.
it absolutely is, and it's free. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to pay for this stuff. It's all
Yeah.
free.
Yeah, so Authy, Microsoft Authenticator, whatever you use, definitely, do your research when you choose. But I think like two factor is just a must. I have like 16 accounts in my two factor on, especially on social medias. they target people's social media so much, and a lot of businesses do a lot of marketing on social media, and it would be devastating if they lost their social media. So you have absolutely have to put two-factor on your social media, and it improves your security by more, I think, than anybody really knows. It's like really is like 20 steps up from just, oh, changing your password every week or whatever. Just consider your password compromised and make sure you have two-factor on every account.
I give you a little advice too, is it's bound to that device, your two factors a lot of times. Every now and then you need to back that up just to make your life, if you lose your phone or break your phone or anything,
Yes.
back up your multi-factor just every now and then, so it's not so painful if you have to
And
change it.
also make sure you know your username and password to your two-factor,
Yeah.
because a lot of people won't think of that until they get the new phone, and then it's like
Yeah.
you might have to reset every two-factor that you've ever set up, which is not fun.
Right.
How can businesses use Cybersecurity Awareness Month to build a culture of security in their workplace?
It takes a lot of communication. I think it's our responsibility to to tell our employees what we expect. You can't get mad at them because they, bought a gift card or whatever the thing is, if you're not educating them or
Mhm.
telling them or something, because they're not doing it on purpose. Normally no one's purposely trying to sabotage your business, but it does happen. I think you need to educate them, because we could put all the tools in front of them, but there's still a human factor that needs to be done, right? You need to educate the people. Don't let that don't don't take that lightly.
And also, I think that I've seen such a difference in like employee education when I actually go in with you and we give like a PowerPoint to like the doctors and the clinic staff. We give a PowerPoint to them. We give a presentation. We give them examples and we show them this is all the times that malware has gone into your email. This is how we've stopped it. We've moved it. Like you have to show them the real threat, show them examples of things to look out for, and actually give like a real life class, and people are going to remember it better that way than when you just send a video over or send them a link and they can just put it on and, be distracted, be doing things on the other side or trying to work, trying to get their job done and multitasking. I think it is like super important to like have like a staff meeting. I think October is perfect for that. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, just set aside one monthly staff meeting where we focus on that, talk about that. Bring your IT team in,
Mhm.
obviously, and just, dedicate some time to bringing awareness and telling people what they should look out for and what they can do on an individual level to step up the cybersecurity in the
it's
business.
it's when you get comfortable is when you get hurt
Hmm.
in this world. So you just because you're not seeing it doesn't mean it's not coming to you. So
Hmm.
you need to, if they change it just a little bit until it does go through, you need to you're the only the person in front of that machine is the only one that can stop it at
Yeah,
that point.
and I think like it's not about making your clients like scared. It's not about creating fear. It's just that we do so much behind the scenes. We stop so much behind the scenes that they don't see. So they don't usually see, like they don't see the malware that we move automatically to their deleted box. We literally tell them stay out of your deleted folder.
Mm,
So they don't even see all of the stuff we stop. I think it can kind of create like a false sense of security sometimes, like, oh, we nobody's trying to hit us or we're not trying to be attacked. Just because we protect you really well doesn't mean that you are not, that people aren't still trying.
yes.
I think that's a big thing. Okay, another thing that's coming up soon is that Windows 10 is going end of life.
Yep.
So let's talk about that a little bit. What does that mean? When Microsoft says that, what does that mean to us?
That means that they're not going to keep updating and filling holes in their security model in that software. They're done with it. They want you to move to another thing. So your new threats that come out, that software will not be aware of it, and that they can literally still use that new stuff and get the old people's operating system to go after that problem or that hole.
Okay. And I would say, like, I think kind of with like Apple and Microsoft both, they both have this rep. It's like they're constantly coming out with new things to make it to where their old stuff doesn't work and you have to upgrade. And I kind of feel like at some point we just kind of have to bite the bullet and we just have to upgrade with them because there's no point in trying to fight Microsoft.
Yeah.
We have to use Microsoft. We all use Excel, Outlook. We depend on Microsoft. It's,
And
it is
Apple.
what it
Yeah.
is. And Apple and even Google is raising its prices too. So it's like we're just going to have to, I think, accept that and plan for it. Because I think, as we've seen with our clients, it's much easier to budget for something that you've been planning for all year than to replace all of your computers at once.
Yeah. Microsoft has made it possible to, if you've kept up with, Windows 10, normally you can get to 11 without a cost even. It just needs to your hardware needs to match and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they do work with you some. It doesn't mean you have to redo everything.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you have to get all new computers, especially if you've been keeping up with stuff. I know, like, we started looking at this at the beginning of the year, and we had several clients where they most of their computers could be upgraded to 11 for free. I think they had like 4 computers that they needed to replace, and so we could spread those out over the year, and it doesn't take such a big hit as
Mhm.
for somebody who hasn't been upgrading their computer since Windows 7.
Yeah,
So I feel like fighting it is just the exact opposite of what you should be doing, and just staying up with it definitely makes it manageable. And I think that's probably their goal. Another thing with Windows 10 that I just wanted like to bring up to talk about is I know a lot of people are like, what does that mean? So it does mean what you were saying. So security patches, they're not going to be releasing those anymore. You're going to be vulnerable and easier to hit. Definitely your OS could be corrupted. But another thing is, especially since we work with a lot of clinics and a lot of people in the service industry that have that proprietary software, your software might come out at the beginning of 2026 and say, hey, we don't support Windows 10 anymore. And that means your EHR is not going to open up on your computer. Your
absolutely,
computer is going to be useless if it can't open the EHR. If it can't use the software that your business depends on, what's the good in the computer? So I think that's one thing that maybe people aren't thinking about, like, or maybe their IT company isn't informing them that it's not just about security. It's also about making sure that your device is compatible with the software that you depend on.
absolutely.
Another thing that I think is good to know is that, like, there should be an easy way for your IT company to do a scan and tell you whether or not your computer can upgrade to Windows 11.
hmm
So how do we go about doing that?
Go to start and type in PC health check. I think I
Mhm.
believe, and it'll run through its little utility and tell you if you're good or not.
Okay. I think it's always like bugging people too, like it like
Yeah.
pops up, so you should be getting alerts about it, but if it's not, probably means you're good.
If it's not bugging you, you probably don't have your Windows update. So why don't you just update your PC and then you may start seeing all this stuff. If you've turned that off because of notifications, we understand, but it's not a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, turning off your update notifications, I definitely wouldn't recommend.
No.
I know it can be annoying, but just for reference, this is something that we do for our clients weekly.
Mhm.
So if you turn it off even for a few months, you're going to be behind so many versions that it's going to take forever to update, and it just slows you down, and it's much quicker if you just do them
At night.
at night. Yeah, just put it to where it automatically installs at 4 a.m., reboot your computer once a day, and I think you should be running very smooth and
It's
efficiently.
like Santa Claus. You got to go to sleep and then you're good in the
Yeah.
next morning.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, so to tie in our two big topics from today, we had cybersecurity and Windows 10 going end of life. I think that businesses should definitely make it a priority in like their cybersecurity goals to make sure they have what they need with Windows 10 because there's just so many cybersecurity issues it's going to bring if they don't address that.
Absolutely. You're not being updated. And we have to understand that every day they're working on something because someone is changing something to get into that system.
Yeah. It's just like not optional. It's just like a
Mm.
basic thing. And it's not even just that it makes you like susceptible for malware and cybersecurity threats. It's also going to slow you down so much if you're not updating.
It's just to be responsible. It's just you need to be responsible for that computer, especially if you have other people's information on it and everything.
Bare minimum. Okay, so for anyone who hasn't been thinking about this all year and they're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of devices they have that might need to be upgraded, what would be your best advice for them?
Call us today. Um, I mean, we can definitely help someone with that. We literally in seconds we've got that down. You know, we run it in seconds. We can tell you which ones are and aren't. Period. But you've got to you send out an email to all your folks, have them run the utility, and get with me if anything is red. You know.
Yeah, I think that that's a big thing that people, like, especially business owners, should realize that, like, this is a big thing and it can be overwhelming. And it's very understandable if this, gave you anxiety just thinking about it. You don't have to do it on your own. Like, you can reach out to us for help. We're here
Mhm.
to help. We do have an easy way to get this done because it's something that we've done every day. So give us a call and we can, see where you're at and give you a plan. I think it's much better to just be aware of where you are so you can have a plan. We can work with you. We're not like, oh, you have to replace them all at the same time, but we'll, come up with a plan that will get you where you need to be, but that still, fits your needs and your budget and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that wraps up today's episode of the Infinite IT Behind the Network. Hopefully, everybody got some good tips and advice for, cybersecurity things they can improve and preparing for Windows 10 end of life.
Yeah. If you guys have anything, just drop a comment or something and we'd be glad to talk to you about it.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in and staying informed, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you guys.